Injustice and tyranny overall rely on logical fallacies. Hello, it's November 2023, and I just want to do a real quick video about something I've been discussing for many years. And I'm going to be reiterating some information because there are people who are new to my channel, and this is the first video that they're seeing, and they might not know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to start off by talking about the cycles of civilization. We are in the late stage of the last stage of civilization, the age of decadence. Again, and we repeat history because history is forgotten either by chance or design. And what always follows is our demise. And then also talked about, for example, the literal 100-year patterns within the cycles of civilization, which, for example, we've been seeing playing out the past several years. Now, with that said, I've also talked about the type of people who become the majority in society. And just in a couple of words, this would be the beta and omega types. In contrast, there's the alpha types. Now, who are these types of people? I've said, again, many times, that these are the people who lack critical thinking skills, an extensive knowledge base, and who cannot separate emotions when making conclusions. And this is the world today. Most people, and just a segue for a moment, we see the attention span online with people. If something's not within 30 seconds, even that's becoming too long. People just kind of like, oh, look, a squirrel. You get what I'm saying? So this is the foundation that I'm going to talk about next. Now, I have mentioned over years now logical fallacies. And I've highlighted, for example, how logical fallacies, which is really a liberal way of thinking, liberalism, how this has infected even the most conservative, the most logical types. I've highlighted how logical fallacies is commonplace, for example, with police, when interacting with them, when they're making their conclusions and everything else. This is no diss to any police or any profession that I might give as an example. I've also highlighted how logical fallacies are a big part in law. A lot of assumptions and everything else and so forth. I'm setting aside agendas. We also see logical fallacies with politics. We even see this, for example, with medical professionals and just across the board. Now, I'm even going to expand this into seeing logical fallacies with people who adhere to religions and belief systems. And I'm just going to segue for one quick moment that religions and belief systems have little to nothing to do with the Most High, known as God. I digress. So logical fallacies is huge. It's what the world has become because the beta and omega types, as described, in part how I defined it, can only rely on logical fallacies. Where this is really commonplace is in everyday life, when interacting with people, whether it be friends, family, colleagues at work, colleagues at school, any kind of social setting, logical fallacies dominate. And people don't even see it most of the times. Now, sometimes you might have someone who is, and just want to segue for a moment, there's different levels of intelligence. We're not all equal. You have extremely intelligent to extremely stupid, and then you have every shade in between. And this is no disrespect to stupid people. It is what it is, right? But people, when they're, say, in a social setting, and they're just having a conversation, and people rely on logical fallacies, you know something's wrong, you're trying to make a point. A lot of times people get lured into going along with the fallacy, and it just conversation ends up going nowhere. Now, we also have, underlining all that, political correctness nonsense. And I'm just going to segue for a moment. I'm old school. I don't adhere to political correctness. Back in my day, there was no such thing. And I remember, as I was getting older, throughout my years, watching it evolve into complete insanity to where we are today. But anyway, that all ties in with the cycles of civilization. But if you ever find yourself on any topic, trying to make sense of what, say, someone else who might be making an attempt, say, to rebut something or to justify their position, and you're like, they're talking, but I really don't know how to rebut it because they're not making sense. They're not offering anything substantial to give answer to. Chances are, if you sit back, you realize, oh, it's a logical fallacy. And it's something that people should really learn about, because whether it be just something nonsensical like pineapple on pizza, logical fallacies there, to something serious that affects everyone in the world, you're going to be dealing with most people talking with these fallacies. So learning about these things also gives the advantage to you to be able to avoid using logical fallacies yourself. And I'm just going to segue for a moment. When we look at the world today, with a lot of deceptions and everything going on and people buying into that, those types of things require logical fallacies to support it. Now, a lot of times when people are just, say, responding to me, maybe a comment, a post, whatever, and they're just talking nonsensical, I will tell them that they are someone wanting to be heard with nothing to say, because they want to be heard, but they're just using usually logical fallacies and so forth like that. I'm just going to segue for a moment here a little deeper. When somebody tells you to feel free to have the last word after, say, saying something like I just stated, it's a test. It's a test to see if allowing them an opportunity to prove what you're saying is correct. They fail the test, meaning that that statement's correct, when they give answer to that, taking the opportunity to have the last word. In essence, they're too stupid to know when to shut up, and that what they're saying is not cared about. And after I usually say that, I never go back to read their replies, because it's just going to be full of nonsense. But I totally digress there. So this type of thing is very important to learn, logical fallacies, for yourself, so you can avoid it, and to also detect it when interacting with other people. And we see this extensively now on the world stage with what's happening on the other side of the world with regards to the introduction of WWIII. And I've talked about this in previous videos. So I just want to give you some things to really think about, maybe inspire you to start learning the different logical fallacies, and there's tons and tons of them, and a lot of them have variations on the names, the descriptives that are being used, but essentially it's all the same. Hopefully this helps you out. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.
Listen to this and write it down if you can't remember it. You're never going to outgrow warfare. You simply must learn to fight. I hear people saying to me, oh, when is it going to get easier? When you die.